the draft. Let's recap. So the Jags might have made the biggest move of the draft so far, trading up from the 5th spot to take Travis Hunter, number 2 overall. Hunter, the two-way Heisman winner, went from potentially being in Cleveland or New York to Sunnyside, Florida, not too far from his hometown of Georgia. The Browns moved down 3 spots with the trade. Cleveland received the number 5 pick, a second-round pick, a 4th-round pick, and a 2026 round pick from the Jags, who received the number 2 pick, a 4th-round pick, and a 6th-round selection, sources telling our Adam Schefter. Here's Jacksonville's latest star on the surprising turn of events.
It was super exciting. You know, my family was super excited, and you know, I always had that small belief that I would be in Jacksonville, but I didn't know for sure until tonight. So I was definitely excited and surprised a little bit. I haven't really talked to them. You know, I think they was waiting for this special moment to know, go in and dive in deep into what their plan is. So I think I just fit the culture in Florida. You know, I'm from Florida, so I think my play style fit the culture. I just did my best Duval back there, but I got you. Duval!
Couldn't be happier for him. Now, that is just pure elation and joy. Amina, are you surprised the Browns traded out of the number 2 pick?
Well, yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, there was so little smoke about this until the end, so it definitely took us by surprise. And I love Travis Hunter. I love this for Jacksonville. We can get into that side of it. Kid is infectious, unbelievable talent. But I do think it is defensible from the Browns' perspective, because here's how I'm looking at this. And while I would be nervous about passing on Hunter, you saw the picks package. Essentially, if the Jags are average, let's not even say they're bad next year. Let's say they're average. They finish, I don't know, with the 15th overall pick. Then based on the trade value chart, I use the Jimmy Johnson chart, the Browns essentially traded down and got Mason Graham and what will be equivalent of like the 6th overall pick next year. So you go into next year's draft, which we all agree is better for quarterbacks, with a very high draft pick equivalent, and then your own pick, which would probably be pretty dang high as well. So you have a ton of ammunition to get the quarterback you want. Look, it's nerve-wracking passing on a player like Hunter, but the Browns also have a loaded secondary. They didn't really need him to the extent I believe that the Jags do. So I think you can defend this move. I do think that they got a lot of value. And I think if you take the longer view, and I know it's hard right now, the day after night 1 of the draft, I do think that this will be better for the Browns in the long term.
I think that's what happened, though. You're in those rooms. I'm sorry, you go ahead, Stephen A.
No. I said go ahead.
You go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like you're in that room, Mina and Stephen A, Molly, you're having that conversation and you're going to Jim Schwartz if you're Andrew Berry and you're saying, how are you going to use him? Let me know what you want from Travis Hunter. And you're talking to Kevin Stefanski, how are we going to use him? Let me know what you want. And I think they got to a place where they realized defensively, we really weren't going to use Travis as much as maybe some other teams will. And if you don't use him on both sides of the ball, I believe you lose value for him. And so now you do trade back. You still get a really good player in Mason Graham, exactly where we thought he would go to Jacksonville if this trade wasn't made. But it's about building for the future. When you have an owner that just comes right out and talks about the quarterback that's still in your building and goes, we had a big swing and a miss, we got to fix that. This is taking steps to fix that without hurting the team. Yes, Travis Hunter is going to be a transcendent player. Yes, Travis Hunter is a unicorn. But for the Cleveland Browns, this was the move to make because I don't believe they would have got full Travis Hunter experience, and it allows them to set themselves up for next year when there should be better quarterbacks to pick from.
I don't disagree. I mean, everybody's been raving about the Jacksonville Jaguars getting Travis Hunter as well as they should because we all know that he's a great kid. He's a stud, and he can play both sides. He's a unicorn, as you said yesterday. And we know what tangibles he brings to the equation, especially considering the fact that Trevor Lawrence is 22 and 38 as a starter. Now you got an additional wide receiver to throw the football to. If this brother shows up and can produce the way we know that he can, Trevor Lawrence has an additional weapon, and you're taking care of your $55 million a year investment in that quarterback. So I got that part for Jacksonville. What I like about it for Cleveland is that Cleveland is basically doing what it could, or basically went about the business of doing what it could to make up for the whole Deshaun Watson signing, because you went out there and you traded down, you kept the 5th pick in the draft, all right? And in the same breath, you got a 1st-round pick, the equivalent of the 6th overall pick in next year's draft, plus you got a 2nd rounder, plus you got a 4th rounder. This is you trying to recoup assets meaning that you're acknowledging what you gave away. You're acknowledging that it may have been a mistake. You're acknowledging that, you know what, we've got to retool and we've got to refocus. And so I like what Cleveland did. I don't have a problem with it.
All right, we're going to leave it there, guys. When we come back here on First Take, we're looking at the Dallas Cowboys. Did Jerry Jones make the right move last night, selecting O-line instead of wide receiver? Not everyone is on the same page about this move. Micah wasn't either.
Receiver and a running back, second, third, fourth round of this draft. All right, topic number 2. I love this one. Travis Hunter can win both offensive and defensive rookie of the year. Is that an overreaction?
No, I'm all in. I want to see it happen. This guy, you watch this guy last night, everything he was doing just screamed, yeah, my league now, people. Look out. You made a mistake passing on me at 1. The Jaguars paid so much for this pick. Way too much for a single player. He's going to be more than one player for them, and they've basically come out and said that. Is he going to be 2 players, 1.5? Either way, I think it's going to be special watching what this guy does in the league.
Yeah, I'm sorry to rain on your parade.
Come on!
Like, I think he's going to be a great player. But winning Rookie of the Year at both?
Come on.
Like, that is really tough
you'd love to see it.
And this, I guess you could argue that this year's draft is not as deep as previous years, but you don't think that Abdul Carter is going to get 10 sacks or one of the many edges that were out there going to get a bunch of sacks? It's going to be really hard.
Look at that suit, and how am I going to doubt this guy?
True, and he can move. Dan.
I love the pick by Jacksonville. I don't think they actually gave up that much. Everyone knows how ridiculously high I am on Travis Hunter. I think 2 things that are kind of sneaky in this conversation. I don't think he's going to win both, but one, you now matter, Jacksonville. Like, everyone wants to watch you on national TV because of this kid. And quietly, all the attention now goes to Travis Hunter and off Trevor Lawrence. And I think that's a very big deal in Jacksonville.
Bingo. Spears?
I have nothing. They said everything. We can
Okay,
move
good.
on.
Wow.
I love that.
Wow.
I thought he was going to agree with me. I thought he was like,
He was just sitting there.
Smart.
He was just
Great
enjoying
call.
it. All right, so the final overreaction. The
Bros,
Giants.
you know damn well that man ain't winning offensive and defensive. You know. Go ahead.
So he just wasn't taking the bait.
Well, if he does.
That's all that was.
And it's good to see Trevor Lawrence smiling because he got a great receiver and corner last night, so he should be smiling. But they are massively still behind the Houston Texans in the AFC South. They still could use a tight end, another offensive lineman, a defensive tackle, another corner, amongst other things. So, look, Travis Hunter should be a great player, no doubt about it. I just don't like the price they paid to trade up and get to give up next year's first-round pick.
Sure.
So they still have a ways to go.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence doesn't like that answer. He's going to hang up on it. It's okay, though, because our next caller, from Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin. Mike T, he's saying the Steelers made the right call passing on Shedeur Sanders at 21 overall. Fraud or lot?
That's a fraud. I don't understand what the Steelers are doing from this standpoint. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields leave. They give up $30 million a year and a second-round pick for DK Metcalf. Who's going to be throwing the ball? Is it Mason Rudolph? Maybe they have a handshake deal with Aaron